All right, I've got my gimbal out, so I'm trying to make a video with it. So I don't know how well it's going to go, but I haven't really played with it a lot. So I'm going to make a keto curry video. It's in the height of this whole COVID pandemic, and I still want to eat keto and all that. This little thing is stopping me from doing a bunch of this work. So I'm going to put this cat down, wash my hands, and hopefully he's going to leave me alone. What we're going to need to start this curry is things to make a curry paste. It's all about the paste, really. I have a tomato, a half an onion, a piece of ginger. I like using lots of ginger. A garlic, a head of garlic. This I'm going to chop up. I'm going to chop this up as well. For the paste, I'm going to use this jalapeno and this package of 4 hot peppers you get from Sobeys. Now, you do not have to use as many peppers as what I do. This is going to be a very hot curry, but I do like it spicy. Normally I put a lime in, but I don't, but they didn't have any limes at Sobeys, so I got this thing of lime juice, and I have these kaffir lime leaves, which I'm gonna just julienne up. And I have a stalk, the stalks of 1 bunch of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, don't put it in. And I've got these 2 packages of pork. I've used chicken, more like a butter chicken. This is going to be similar to a butter chicken, except it's going to be made of pork. And you can use shrimp. You could just use, for vegetarians out there who don't want to do keto, you could do chickpeas or any other thing. I've got some olive oil back there and some avocado oil. So I'm going to start by chopping all these up and sticking in this blender because I can't find my food processor blade. Now, for the garnish, I'm going to use kale. It's very, very nutritious, and it's only really good when you put it in things that mask its absolutely wretched taste. I'm going to use 2 green peppers in for the garnish. I'm going to use 1 of these jalapenos for the garnish, and that cauliflower back there. I'm sitting down. Normally I like to stand up when I cook, but for this instance I'm going to sit down. It's always easier for me to do these videos sitting down. And I'm just going to take my tomatoes and stick them in the blender. I'm also going to put just a little bit of oil in the bottom of the blender, just to start it going, just to make it whiz around a little bit better. Alright, when the paste is whizzing around in there, I'm going to add some yellow curry powder. You can put whatever kind of spices you want. You can do a red curry, you can do a green curry, you can do all these different things and add different things to it, but I'm going to do a yellow curry. To make it more yellow, I'm going to add some turmeric, or some people say turmeric, or some people say lots of things. I don't know what the proper way of saying it is because I'm not an Indian. Well, I'm not that type of Indian anyway. And I add a little cumin, a little bit of ground cloves, and I do like this Chinese fly spice. You just add a little Chinese fly spice and it sort of brings it around. And then you are left with this lovely paste. So this paste is right here, and this is going to be the basis of the curry, and it's going to give everything a whole bunch of flavor. Now I'm going to taste some of it. One thing about the paste though, it is quite spicy. It's a lot of onions and hot peppers, and my eyes are bringing the water already. So I'm going to give this a little taste right now. Also, there's no salt or anything in this yet. That is hot, but I do remember that I didn't put any lime juice in because I can't taste it in there. So I'm just gonna give this a squirt to your liking. If you don't like too much, don't put too much in. If you like it, put some in. But before I start adding salt to anything to really bring out the flavors, I just want to see if the base flavors are there and the heat's there. The next steps are gonna be the easy steps. I'm gonna chop my meat up in good sized chunks. I like a nice chunk of meat in my mouth. And brown them off in a pot that's gonna go in the oven. So I'm gonna get take a pot, put some avocado oil in or olive oil, and then I'm going to brown my meat off and take it out as soon as it's browned. Just with a little salt and pepper on it, that's all. And then I'm going to put the paste in, sort of cook it off a little bit, get some of the liquid out, and then I'm gonna add 2 cans of coconut milk. Bring it up to temperature till it starts to bubble, and I'm gonna stick the meat back in, and then I'm gonna put in my garnish, which is gonna be one of these, or 2 of these, one of these, some kale and some cauliflower, and just stick it in the oven for an hour and a half. There are 2 things I'm probably gonna add to give more heat. One is this thing of it's tandoori masala. You can find garam masala or whatever. It's good to add heat and a lot of flavor, and it's absolutely great. But only put this in small dosage. I got this at the Tea on Fat in Bedford Highway, and it is potent. And another thing that I'm going to add that's completely not traditional is probably a little red hot buffalo sauce or red hot sauce or ghost chili sauce or something. But again, that's to your taste. If you don't like heat, don't put all this other stuff in it. It's good to get yourself one of these types of spatulas with a red handle. You can buy it at any restaurant supply store. The red handle means it takes heat. Now you got to get your pan really hot. So I have it on high right now, just to get hot. You'll know how hot it is by putting your hands on it. Once it gets to a point where it's like, oh my God, that's really, really hot, then you know it's ready. I've got some avocado oil. I'm gonna be generous with the avocado oil. You're gonna put your meat in, always lay the meat away from you so it doesn't splash back and get you. And I like to do it from, clockwise, so I know which piece of meat to check first. Excuse me. Now that it's browned off, I'm just going to reduce the heat to half. I'm going to deglaze with a little rice wine vinegar. Add and coconut milk. Give this a nice stir. Look at the color. You can add some of the butter now. And when this butter melts, I'll add the meat and the garnish. Now it's time to add all this browned meat. Now, one of my favorite parts is the actual tasting of the sauce. still not hot enough. I'll get quite the sauce to add to that. So, to add a little more heat, I've got this Cajun hot sauce, so I'm gonna add a bunch of this to it. And my friend Krista McMullen gave me this hot sauce for Christmas. It's from PEI. And my old standby little sriracha. So I have my kale and my green peppers and my jalapenos all chopped up on this board. I'm gonna stick it in there, and once this starts to get smaller, because it will get smaller, I'm gonna put some cauliflower in and shove it right in the oven.
Not letting him going into that masterpiece.
Fuck.
Oh, for you, honey. I'll go with the one that you guys first.
And when this comes to a simmer, I'm gonna put a cover on it and drive it right in the oven. All right, the timer went off, so let's just take a little look and see what the curry looks like. All right, now this is where you would add any additional seasonings. Like if it's not salty enough, you can add salt. If you want to add a little more lime juice, you can. It definitely needs a little more salt, but other than that, yeah, it's hot. Just the way I like it. So I just garnished it with some cilantro leaves. And look at that. Fit for a king or a queen. Or anyone else in the kingdom. And the last part is the eating part. And it's actually my second favorite part. The making it's probably my favorite. Top. So anyway, this is a keto butter pork, I guess. So I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you all soon.